Hello, my friend, and welcome to the 458th episode of the Sales Podcast. I'm Wes Schaefer, the Sales Whisperer, your host. Today, I've got a friend of mine I've known for many years through the Infusionsoft Keep community, Josh Marston. He has been writing and updating a book on Facebook advertising for e-commerce. He wrote it in 2019. He's updated it now for 2020. So we talk about how to make it work, right? How to do Facebook advertising. And, you know, as we do this in the middle of 2020, there's been some changes, right? There's some companies that have boycotted some advertising on Facebook. Of course, we've got COVID going on. There is more inventory right now. There has been a reduction in prices because, you know, Facebook, like anything, even though it's digital, it's still inventory. And so there's more space for you to run your ads, so the cost has gone down. So, you know, we talk about is advertising dead? Of course it's not, but I like his response. Can you do Facebook advertising on your own? You might like that. I link over to Dennis Yu's interview. I had him on several years ago with his $1 a day program. I link over to Justin Brook, I've known for many years, a very smart advertising guy. But you know, tune into this. Let me know what you think. Let me know if you're advertising. And how are you growing in this crazy new world? Although, you know what? The world is always crazy. Right now, maybe we can all agree on what's crazy. Although, even that we can't agree on, right? Is the left crazy? Is the right crazy? Are they both crazy? Is this all Russia? Is it China? China. Is it the WHO? So it's crazy we can't even agree on what crazy is, which shows things are always crazy, right? Crazy is the existing normal. So embrace it. You know, like we used to say in the military, embrace the suck. It's time for a checkup from the neck up. I hope you are ready. If you would like a little bit of help, a little bit of encouragement, come hang out with me, 30daysalesgrowth.com. Updated it, updating the content all the time, the workbook, the video series. Come hang out. We go live every Monday morning. You can ask me your questions. There's a private group. You can ask your questions. It's month to month. If you enroll for a year, you save 50%. Hard to beat. You know what I'm saying? 30daysalesgrowth.com. Now, let's bring on our guest. Josh Marston. I don't know what's hotter, man. Your weather in Phoenix or your new book, Facebook Advertising Trends and Strategies for E-Commerce 2020 edition. Welcome to the Sales Podcast. How the heck are you?
I'm good, man. Hey, thanks for having me on.
Dude, I thought Facebook was dead. Let's just get right into it. Facebook advertising is dead. Why am I even talking to you?
Whoa, wait a second. Facebook advertising is definitely not dead. Facebook advertising is still making a ton of money for a lot of businesses right now. And I've been a part of that, you know, with my agency, CVO Acceleration.
Yeah. So, I mean, you and I go back a good 10 years probably from our Infusionsoft days. I mean, you've been in the marketing space, web design, marketing automation. How did you start dipping your toe in the Facebook advertising world?
Yeah, that's a great question. You know, when we met years ago, you know, I was really focused more on Infusionsoft marketing automation services. And I found during my experience doing that I was really passionate about results. You know, I think just coming from a performance background, being performance minded, always being in sales or sales management, that I just didn't really have a whole lot of a passion necessarily for workflow automation and just automating businesses. I mean, it was kind of fun, but I really liked seeing results. And so marketing, you know, doing marketing for companies as I was doing Infusionsoft services is where I found my passion. So I took it further after that, and I decided to pivot into sales funnels. And then I took it a little bit further after that, and I decided to add on basically advertising with Facebook and Google. And since then, you know, we've been able to basically create like a proprietary strategy and a process that incorporates content marketing, funnels, marketing automation, and digital advertising to help e-commerce businesses be able to maximize their return on their ad spend by using our strategy and our process.
So that's your focus is e-commerce. I mean, can a chiropractor learn from this, or is it more really aimed at the pure e-commerce play?
Yeah, every business, if we're talking about just my books, every business can get a lot of value out of my books, even if they're not selling physical products. I will say though that, in the content, it is definitely, there is definitely speaking to physical products quite a bit. But I've had various people reach out to me over the past few years with my two books, and some of these people are not selling physical products, and they've, just shared with me all the value that they've received from my first book, especially, 2019 edition. And so I know it could benefit just about anybody, just because of the fact that it talks about trends right now with Facebook advertising and strategies that are proven and are tested. And a lot of those strategies are a little physical product specific, but if you're let's just say, if you think out of the box and you're a critical thinker, you can probably take some of those strategies and you can really adapt them to your business and test them for your business, even if you're not in physical, e-commerce.
So has Facebook advertising, did it get easier in the last 12 months? Did it get harder? Is it different?
It's kind of been about the same, I would say, over the past 24 months. So, over the past 12 months, it really hasn't changed a lot necessarily. And this is just me reflecting on the trends that have been happening right now with Facebook advertising over the last 24 months. It really just comes down to being a really, really good marketer, because there is lots of competition, and, you can't advertise like you could back in, say, 2014, where you could just put an ad up and if it's a decent ad, you're going to make a lot of money, or you could. Nowadays, you really have to think through like the marketing, the positioning, the message, the offer. You have to have a really good funnel, really good landing page. I mean, you have to have a lot of those elements in place, and you really have to have like a good balance between brand marketing and direct response marketing to really be able to do Facebook advertising effectively.
Can people even do it on their own anymore, or should they just bring somebody like you in?
They could do it on their own. I mean, when it comes to if someone is just not a tech person, they probably should. But if they're adaptable or they're good with tech, then absolutely they should. Because Facebook advertising has gotten easier to set up. It's just gotten a little bit more challenging to get the results out of because of the level of competition now that's on Facebook advertising. So absolutely, anybody can jump into Facebook advertising, learn it, start doing it for their business, and start seeing results from it as well.
I had Dennis Yu on, probably 3 years now. It's been a while, but he had the $1 a day program, and I think he's maybe $2 a day now. But he, is that viable? I mean, can you start small? Should you start small and kind of teach yourself and at least have a little bit of skin in the game, or how do we get started?
Yeah, and Dennis Yu's a legend. He's someone I respect as well. So, I mean, when it comes to, using a strategy like that, I mean, if you're new to Facebook advertising, if you're new to any advertising, it's like gambling. You don't want to go to a poker table and you played maybe a few hands of poker in your life, and you show up with like $1,000. You're going to get basically creamed. Everybody's going to take your money, and you definitely don't want to do that with Facebook advertising. You want to show up, and probably do, like you said, like something like $1 a day, maybe not so much that, but you can get results from that. It just really depends on what your KPIs are. If you're selling a $30 product, then absolutely, that's fine. That's a good place to start. But if you're selling like a $500, $1,000 product, it's going to take you a ton of testing and a ton of time to get one sale. Because typically, you have to factor in that you want to, when you're first starting off with Facebook advertising or any advertising, you want to basically budget the same amount of money that you're charging for the product that you're trying to lead people into. And obviously, with a $30 widget, you can test all day. It's with a small budget, but with a $500, $1,000 product or offer, it's going to take you quite some time to get some data and to actually validate that Facebook advertising is working with the offer that you're driving people to.
So tell me that again. So $30 product, $500 product. Are you saying like that should be your budget per day or per week or per month?
Well, I mean, I'm
just
just
as a
saying
rule of
that,
thumb, like if somebody's getting started.
yeah, if you're just getting started, I mean, you know, the most important thing is to approach it with a commitment. Like, don't approach it with, I have $300. I'm going to see if I can make money with $300. Like, that's not the right way to think of it, especially with Facebook advertising, because Facebook advertising is not Google ads or billboard advertising or direct response advertising. It's not where you pay and you expect to see an ROI right away. You really have to have more of a Facebook ad strategy with a funnel in mind, because you know, Facebook advertising and Facebook in general, they want advertisers to really approach people based on where they're at in the marketing process of the advertiser, which means that you want to really approach it with awareness, with engagement, with conversion, with monetization, with those 4 kind of steps in mind, and then build your ad campaigns to really like leverage those 4 steps, and then do it in an extended period of time, not just a short amount of time, because you need to build up your funnel with people coming into the funnel, and then you need to follow up with them with retargeting to get them to move down the funnel as well. And if you do that, if you're committed to it and you keep optimizing, you know, you can see some incredible results for sure with Facebook advertising, even with a small budget.
Give me those 4 again. Awareness.
Yep. Awareness, engagement, conversion, and monetization.
All right. You know, all of this hurts my head. Because then, like you say, then you get into retargeting. You do all that right. You do most everything right. And and I've seen this for a while now. You know, Justin Brook, I've had him on way back in the day. Super smart guy with ad skills. And, you know, he's been promoting for a long time. Like, run an ad to ungate it, great content, pixel them, then retarget them. You know, and that's a lot of stuff to do, man. I've done very little of it. You know, I've been fortunate to kind of grow organically, but you know, I want to start doing more proactive. I'm retooling my 30-day sales growth, make every sale program, and I'm going to put that out on Gumroad. Actually, Justin he's been using Gumroad a long time. I finally started looking at it. I actually bought another guy's course. This cool dude from the UK, Zuby, had him on just a couple months ago. And he's got a Twitter, like how to be influential on Twitter or something, but it's all through Gumroad, and it's very easy to use. And I'm like, man, I'm making this stuff too dang hard. But
we all do that, you know. When you're smart, you tend to like overcomplicate things, you know. And we have to have, like, I have a mentor, for example, that I pay quite a bit per year to, and he basically like always like breaks it down and keeps it simple, because sometimes I complicate it.
Yeah. And, you know, going back 12, 13 years in this, it was a lot harder, right? Building your funnel, building the drip sequences, adding them to some kind of membership site. And then you build all this stuff and you're like, hell, I don't want to touch it again. You know, and then Facebook came out with groups and units, right? So I pulled everything into units. All right, let's keep this simple. And also to kind of show my members that there are other options, right? It's like, hey, you want to do it super complicated? Okay, you know, there's Kajabi, there's Wishlist Member, there's, you know, Memberium and LearnDash and WordPress. And okay, wow, that's a lot. But then you see Gumroad and whatever. So, because it's got to be simple and effective so you can afford to drive traffic to it, right? Because now as I retool the course, I can offer it at a lower price because the hosting and everything else is so much more affordable. Well, now I feel like I can afford to, both time and money, start driving traffic to that thing. And because I've never had like a pure e-commerce play, you know, I've always done some type of ongoing training and whatnot. So, and obviously you're buying it online, but I haven't felt like it was pure e-commerce, whereas now it will be with an upsell for like private coaching or join the ongoing join the weekly calls at
Mm-hmm.
at a different rate, but
Yeah, totally. I mean, this content you're putting out right now is like perfect awareness content. I mean, you can definitely use this content and amplify it to the right people that you want to get into your marketing funnel, and then you can retarget them into your funnel. It's free offer or paid offer, and then, or webinar even, and then obviously you could sell them from there. So there's definitely like tons of potential for what you're doing to apply it towards, using Facebook advertising in your overall strategy.
So you mentioned webinars. I mean, does all this stuff still work, or is nothing working because we're in a global
I had
pandemic?
a feeling you were going to say that. That's why I laughed.
We should just start drinking.
Yeah, well, honestly, it depends on your demographic. Some people, if you're targeting like a younger demographic, then webinars, in my opinion, will not work whatsoever, because they have a shorter attention span. They want the offer right away. So if it's a training offer, give them the training in a different format that they can consume quickly and right away. But if it's an older demographic, then webinars still work because, they're still pretty receptive to going through a webinar to learn X, Y, and Z, whatever that value proposition is of a webinar offer that someone's advertising.
So you get this younger demographic. Will they pay a lot of money for a course, or do they want it quick? Do they want it cheap? And then what? Like have an upsell versus like the big honking, $3,000, $5,000, $10,000 course?
That is a really good question. So I haven't tested this, so this is purely opinion based, but yeah, I mean, a younger demographic will still invest into a course, into a product of some sort like that. You just have to approach it, I think, a little differently. You can't do it on a webinar, for example, we actually get leads daily for my program, and my program is not a cheap program, but it has like considerable impact and value. It's totally worth what we're charging for it. And we're not driving people to any type of a webinar type offer. We're driving people into getting case studies. And then when they sign up for it, they get access to case studies, and they can, if they want, they can go through like a 42-minute, basically it's not a webinar, but it's just me basically speaking to the camera and going over a training tied to some results that we did for various clients. And, but they don't have to stay there and watch it to take the next step. They can just say, you know what, I've watched enough of this. I'm going to go ahead and take the next step. I'm going to go ahead and apply, for this program because I see the screenshots of performance results that Josh has, shared with me. So I'm going to go ahead. I'm just going to go ahead and apply for this program. So, I mean, it really just comes down to, I think that, you want to keep it as simple as possible. And, it's been really working well for us. And I know other people that are selling something similar to what I'm selling that are using a similar funnel, and it's doing very well for them as well.
So you're more of, would you say you're teaching in that 40-minute video? Is it a demo? Is it teaching? Is it sales? Or is it just, let me just give a lot of value, just open the kimono and people will just, they'll recognize it or they won't, they'll buy or they'll go away.
Yeah. Well, there's a little bit of a finesse to it, because you can't just dump them with value and not try to
finesse.
Get them to take
I just want people to send me their money. All right. I want the accelerated version. I think deep down, I'm still that one of those younger generation people. Okay. Ignore the gray hairs.
Yeah.
Give me the money.
I agree. You've got that gusto to you, it hasn't gone away no matter, I don't know how old you are, but I get it. I totally get it.
I'm half a century, man. I'm old.
We still got that, like I said, that gusto, that drive. So, what were we talking about? What was the question again?
So on your 40-minute deal, how much is it?
Yeah, right.
Teaching, training versus teaching. A demo versus, deep down, you're doing some NLP and hypnotizing me to give you my credit card.
Yeah, there's definitely, again, a finesse to it, where I am delivering value, but I'm also, really leading them to an action that I want them to take, which is to apply for my program. And, but I definitely am delivering, considerable value in those 42 minutes. However, it definitely is also a sales message to get them to take action that's going to benefit them, because they'll be able to get similar results in their business if they take action.
And what have you seen? Obviously, through better advertising, as you fine tune it, you'll get more people that take action. But I mean, in general, it's a low percentage, right?
Yeah. I mean, we've got basically like 20%, or it's like 25% right now. 25% to cold traffic, and then on the opt-in, and then we have like 7% on the application right now, and then some people are qualified, some people are disqualified, and if they're qualified, we have 20% of those people like qualified on average, and those are going to a booking page where they can book a call. And then we've got like a 60% show up rate, and then 25% closing rate. So, and those numbers work when it comes to advertising, and also when it comes to the offer that we're selling.
Right. Maybe I'm jaded because I've been in this space a long time, but I mean, are people, you have an application, are they open and honest during that, or do they feel like, hey, this is a covert pitch, wrapped in a consultative application,
Yep.
How's that being received?
Yeah, well, the application itself, it's really designed to filter people. So, and most of it's multiple choice. So, so we basically have some controls in place. So this way people can't hack their way through it. It'll filter them out and then redirect them right away if they answer a question in a disqualified way.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
So you got some intelligence in the survey software?
Yes, sir.
Very cool. So your book is it enough, right? Can our listeners, can they go get it, even if they're brand new to this, and muscle through it and actually have a little bit? I mean, they're not going to be as good as you, obviously, from reading one book, but I mean, is it going to move the needle?
Absolutely. I mean, if they apply the strategies in this book from myself and all these other, well-known Facebook advertising experts in the space that are very well respected, very successful, most of them are more successful than me even, then absolutely they can take these strategies that are proven, tested by myself and my colleagues in the book, and they can implement them and test them, and they can see some considerable results, just like we have, speaking for myself and the people in the book, just like we have. So absolutely. And if someone's like brand new to Facebook advertising, it's not going to teach them the technical aspects of doing Facebook ads. Like, that's not the design for the book. But it will teach them like the fundamentals of the strategy of Facebook advertising, and how to advertise effectively on Facebook. And it will teach them like those strategies as well. So this way they can implement those strategies and essentially jumpstart the learning curve and see success sooner versus going through troubleshooting, wasting time and wasting money. The whole technical aspect they'll have to learn elsewhere, but when it comes to actually just the art side to it, absolutely, they'll learn a ton from it. I've had actually people from my network, friends, family, you name it, that aren't in this space at all, that have picked up this book and they've read through it too, and they've given me feedback, and they were like, wow, this is like a really good book. I've really learned a lot from it. I mean, that was from the first book, not the second book, but both books have like the same kind of approach. The new book is just more updated with more current strategies that myself and colleagues have shared in the book.
Well, I know it's good because you didn't put me in it. So that means there's no fluff. So that's all right, man. Appreciate you being discerning.
If I wanted to have one of the best salespeople in a book about sales, then absolutely you'd be in the book.
So is Instagram synonymous with Facebook advertising?
It is to a Facebook advertiser, but if you're outside of the Facebook advertising world, you think of Instagram as different from Facebook. But they're all the same basically. And we do touch on Instagram advertising strategies in the book. There's definitely more Facebook than Instagram, and there's definitely room for like opportunities in the future for me to publish additional books focused on Instagram, for example. And I do have some things in mind in the future. But this book does touch on Instagram, because Instagram, when you publish an Instagram ad, you're publishing Instagram ads through the Facebook ads platform. So it's all the same.
Right. What are your thoughts on Facebook Messenger? I know you talk about it a little bit in the book. I don't want to give away all the secrets, but is that also synonymous? I mean, it seems like if you're going to do Facebook advertising, you're going to be all up in that messenger. Am I right or am I right?
Yeah. Well, Facebook Messenger, it's still powerful. I mean, it definitely has died down a little bit, I would say, over the past 12 months. It was really hot maybe 2.5, 3 years ago, but it's still very effective. But they have updated some of their policies over the past 12 months, probably because of us marketers abusing Facebook Messenger, which happens. Because now, for example, you can't send a message to someone if they haven't opened or clicked on a message within 24 hours unless you pay to get past that hurdle. So there's more hurdles now to get results, but you can still get results from Facebook Messenger. You know, Facebook Messenger is just a really good medium for customer service, for having engagement type strategies, which are powerful, especially when you're trying to sell something that's more high ticket, because that takes a conversation, as you and I both know. Yeah, so I mean, and Facebook Messenger too, when it comes to lead generation, is awesome, because you can do so many different things with Facebook Messenger to get leads, you know, through your Facebook Messenger software that you're using, whether it's ManyChat or whether it's my friend Carl's software Segmate app. So I mean, it can definitely be super powerful, and something that people also want to check out that's kind of in beta right now, that's going to be huge, I think, in about 12 months, is Direct Heroes, owned by my friend Jeff McPherson. And Direct Heroes is essentially what Facebook Messenger is to Instagram. And right now, Instagram direct messages and automation has not been abused. So if you are a business, if you are a marketer and your market is on Instagram, then you should jump on Direct Heroes, and you should jump into creating strategies in Instagram using Direct Heroes, just like Facebook Messenger was about 3 years ago when it was hot and all the marketers are jumping into it and making a ton of money off of it.
Do I need to do more bikini shots to get my Instagram popping?
Yeah, it helps. It helps. Yeah, I mean, more skin you show, it seems like that just jacks up your followers.
I probably got to run that by my wife. She gets mad when I wear her bikinis. So.
Oh, I mean,
maybe I can get a sponsor.
She's probably questioning you when that happens.
Maybe I'll get a sponsor. All right, I'm going to look into that next. Very cool. So you've got your own system, right? It's a 5-part system, and we're linking to that, right?
Yes. Yeah. People can check out case studies on our strategy and our process just by clicking on the link below, or wherever you put it. Yeah.
Yeah. So for our listeners, it's cvoacceleration.com.
Yep.
/ARM, so ARM and the number 5. So CVO, and this will be in the notes, and if y'all are listening, click the settings in the podcast, and there'll be a link there. But so you're digging in. I mean, I see it here. You got some screenshots. You got a few case studies, and I mean, these are some decent numbers, right? 444,000, 9% growth, 15% growth, 57% growth. I mean,
yep.
Is this doable for just the average run-of-the-mill? Because most people are going to say, those were one-offs. Oh, woe is me. I'm different. There's a global pandemic. This will never work for me. I mean, what do you say to those negative Nancy's?
Yeah, those negative Nancy's. Yeah, I would. One, I would address that. Don't be negative. Be more optimistic because as a business owner, you can't use any excuses, whether there's a pandemic, whether there's a movement, whatever the case may be. You obviously have to make it happen because that's your responsibility as a business owner. But I would also say though that if anything, COVID happening is a blessing when it comes to marketing and advertising, because e-commerce is booming right now. Nobody's going to retail shops. If you're selling online, you're in a power position right now. It just depends. So it comes down to your mindset, really. But you're in a really good position to be able to, jump into advertising, jump into using marketing online to be able to really grow your business. Because everybody is now shopping online. Some of the big brands too are not advertising right now because they can't afford to, because their stores are not making money. So they're like, I can't budget marketing. That's the first thing that they cut. And then on top of that, Facebook recently, there was some people that boycotted Facebook advertising. So As of this recording, it's a really good time. And even if they didn't boycott Facebook advertising, it's still a really good time because e-commerce has been booming faster than usual. Because, over the past few years, obviously everybody knows people were shopping online, going to Amazon, going to e-commerce stores, wherever the case may be. But now that COVID's happened, it's actually accelerating the adoption rate of people going online and buying online. So absolutely, it's such a great time right now to be in business online. And, you can jump in, you can use Facebook advertising, Google advertising, you can do very, very well with your business.
Is it just me, or does it seem like there are more ads in just the regular news feed? I feel like I'm seeing literally almost every other or something every third seem like it's an ad. Has Facebook increased inventory? They have, but not in just the news feed. That might just be a feel that you're feeling, but I can say that too. I'm not on Facebook quite as much these days, because I try to stay productive. But when I am on Facebook, I do notice that there is probably an ad for every 3 or 4 posts, it seems like, on average, which, is a fairly high frequency when you think about it, to your point. But they've increased their inventory by expanding placements, really. That's really how they've been able to increase their ad inventory, is by adding more and more placements, whether it's, sidebar, Facebook Messenger, whether it's Audience Network or Instagram. And I know Instagram is really growing, and that's something they're putting a lot of investments behind to get that to grow. So that's how they've been really increasing their ad inventory for advertisers. Do I have to be silly or crazy or moving or wave my hand? Hey, stop, don't scroll. The things just kind of ebb and flow. They come and go with what works now in advertising.
What do you mean?
Well, to get somebody to stop, right? Because you're scrolling, right?
Gotcha.
Hey, slow your scroll, and so you just see crazy things, and what is this? Oh, it's an ad.
Yeah.
Do I have to be super over the top, or can you just be honest and straightforward and still make an ad work?
Yeah, you can be both. It just comes down to the messaging, and as opposed to the disruptive mechanism that you're explaining. I'm not saying that doesn't work, because it does. We've seen ads that are disruptive, that capture your attention, but you don't need to do that. You just have to have a really good, message that matches the audience that you're targeting, and a really good offer that they want to click on and find out more about.
How much is staying power a part of this? Because I see some ads so freaking much, and I finally click on it thinking maybe if I click on it, they'll stop showing it to me, but it's,
yep.
What is it? CPC versus CPM. How do you know when to run your ads based on impressions versus clicks? Because honestly, it seems like that the cost per impression, it could work for just getting the word out. It could be, but, and just, you'll slap me around if I get this wrong, but it seems like if I want to get the word out, maybe I do CPC, because I'm seeing this company's ad a bazillion times. So if it was impressions, they would have paid a lot. But, it took me literally weeks before I finally clicked on it one time.
Yeah.
But they were building awareness during that. So how do you know when to do CPM versus CPC?
Well, the thing is that your ads are always going to be charged off of impressions.
Okay.
Even if you choose to optimize for impressions, or you optimize for clicks, or you optimize for conversions, you're always going to get charged for impressions. Always. So now, as far as the goal, though, because I'm just separating cost versus goal. As far as like the goal of your advertising, whether you want to optimize for clicks or impressions, reach basically, based off of what you're trying to accomplish, it really comes down to, what are you trying to accomplish with your ad dollars? I mean, do you want to have a lot of brand awareness? Do you want to get a lot of likes? Do you want to get a lot of followers, or do you want to get leads, or do you want to get sales? Because you definitely want to match your objective, your outcome objective, with the optimization goal that you're choosing when you're setting up your ad campaign. You don't want to do something completely out of the box where you're like, you know what, I'm going to try to run a reach ad campaign, but I'm really trying to get sales, because that won't work. You really want to really think about what is your outcome that you want, and then match it up with the objective of your ad campaign.
I just want to be famous, and my old girlfriend from high school who dumped me at prom, I just want her to be jealous. So can you help me do that?
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
Yes.
Yeah. Just target your old high school, and, show like this hero poster of everything that you've done, everything you've accomplished. And,
Should I rent a Rolls Royce and go take a picture at the airport?
That works too. Private jet,
Right.
Definitely.
All right, cool. Let's make that happen.
Sounds good. We'll talk.
Very nice. All right, man. So where do we send folks? Where do you want them going? I'm linking to your book. I'm linking to your ARM5. At the best place?
Yeah. My book's on Amazon right now. As of this recording, the Kindle version is $1.99, and you could also buy a paperback for $14.99. And paperback's going to be like this, so it's a good size. It's a great book. It was an international bestseller the day it came out in Italy, Australia, and the U.S.
Wow.
So yeah, look, I guess I have friends in Italy and Australia. So, and if you want to find out more about the ARM5 formula, which is our strategy, our process that I've created with my team at CVO Acceleration, and how it's helped some of our clients be able to scale and grow their business using our strategy, then definitely check out the case studies below, because that's going to reveal to you the entire formula basically, and then you can find out more by booking a call with me as well.
Yeah, it was a good strategy, man. Wes is not in this book. I saw that on Facebook or Amazon. I just saw the sales. Man, kind of hurt my feelings for a little bit, but I got over it. I mean, it was the truth, man. You got to tell the truth, all right?
Got to be authentic.
Very nice. All right, man. Well, we're linking to that. And, hey, I appreciate you shedding some light on this crazy world of Facebook advertising, man. Thanks for coming on the show.
Yeah. Thanks for having me, and good to see you in good health.
All right, man. Yeah. Amen. All right, dude. Well, have a great day.
Yes, sir. Okay. All right, you too.
Some interesting nuggets in there, huh? Talking about retargeting, talking about what the younger demographics want to see, and I think even older demographics. Who wants to sit through a big, long webinar? I know I don't, but sometimes I do, but not as often as before. Drive your traffic to the case studies. Offer some type of review. I like his approach, talking about Instagram. And as I mentioned on the last episode, I'm working on some things for my own social media accounts and influence. So I'll be updating you probably a couple of episodes from now. I'll start giving you some updates on how that's working. But like it says, e-commerce is booming. E-commerce is still a very small percentage of the overall economy of retail sales, despite the internet being around 25 years easily, right? As far as kind of mainstream, but people are still struggling to figure this out online. So don't think that ship has sailed, all right? It has not at all. There's plenty of time, plenty of room to get good at that, to jump in that water. But you need to do it. COVID's going to be around a while. That political football is going to be tossed around back and forth. So get into e-commerce. And to make it grow quickly, SEO is great for the long haul. You can make posts and things that last a long time, but it can take a long time to get traction, to get eyeballs on that. So maybe create some great content, run some Facebook ads, driving traffic, driving eyeballs to that content, let people get to know you. Maybe they opt in for something, maybe they like it, they share it. The ABCDE, right? It's a circle, it's a cycle. Attract, bond, convert, deliver, endear. So when people find you, they get this great experience. You endear yourself to them, then they share it and they attract others back to you. But you can speed that up with your paid advertising, all right? And Facebook is still alive and well for you to do that. If you need help, hit up Josh, all right? He's offering that consultation as well. And if you need help tying this all together, because the one thing that overlays all of this is sales. How to write an ad. You have to understand sales. What's going to get their attention? What kind of words should you use? What is the conversation going on in the mind of the prospect? Do you understand all that? When they get to your landing page, how do you engage them? What kind of imagery and artwork, infographics, whatever. Bolding things, highlighting things, putting them in italics, larger fonts. What is the ultimate goal? How do you get them to opt in? How do you engage them from that? How do you finally get them to set an appointment, show up for the appointment, engage with you honestly, and then buy? Then how do you get them to buy again? How do you get them to give referrals and testimonials? That's all salesmanship. That's what I cover. That's what I've done for 23 years. That's what I've taught since 2006. So come hang out, come learn, come grow, come make more money. 30daysalesgrowth.com. Join now, all right? And then I guarantee you will sell more. Now go sell something.